What's poppin', big sippers? It's your girl, Brittany G.
And Notorious Till. And you're tuning to another episode of
AunTEA Talk.
So for today's sip tea, we have sweet Riesling wine. Keeping it real simple. Is that like anything? Cause I'm not a huge wine drinker. Like I drink like the same type of wine. So that tastes good to me though.
Mm-hmm. And you need a feel of Moscato.
Yeah, that's exactly what it tastes like.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly. So let's go ahead and get into our sponsorship opportunities.
Okay, y'all. So as you already know, AunTEA Talk, we're looking for some dope ass Black business owners to be sponsors for AunTEA Talk. We're looking for plant companies, adult games, adult beverages, aromatics such as candles, candle waxes, incense, anything to get the aroma going. And last but not least, we're looking for tea companies.
And if you're a minority business owner, we have a tea shop for you to join where we offer promotional opportunities. So if you're interested in a sponsorship opportunity or promotional opportunity, hit us up at AunTEATalkPodcast@gmail.com. So let's go ahead and get into this.
Check in. You want to go first?
I will.
Okay.
So
Okay.
do I want to start for real? Okay, I'm gonna start for real, then I'm gonna do the silly part.
Okay.
So we went to our friend's gender reveal
slash birthday party.
Yeah, slash birthday party this weekend, and I realized last night that was my first gender reveal. I've never been to a gender reveal before.
I have.
Yeah. So one of the things that me and one of my friends were discussing, we were talking about how this girl that we know just had lipo 360 procedure. So, you know, I seen her before and after pics, and I'm like, whoa, her stomach look like mine. Like, I need to go see who she went to go see or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like the next day, you know, I looked at myself. I'm like, nah, actually, her stomach is bigger than mine. So it was just like when I seen that, it was like, bro, your stomach is big in my eyes, but it ain't that big as I think it
Still
is.
got fudge.
But anyway, so it was like, at that moment, it was like, bro, I just need to work out.
Yeah.
And for those who know me personally, like, I've been back and forth with my fitness journey since 2014.
Yeah.
So yesterday, Monday, I actually started my fitness journey all over again. And I'm going to focus on doing a mile a day because, granted, we're at the end of July. So my goal for August is I'll be 31 in September. So my goal for August is 31 miles in a month of August. 31 days, 31 miles. So however I choose to, you know.
You on the Nike run club, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to be doing challenges on there. We can like amongst all our friends who want to do it. Yeah, we do that.
So yeah, I started the fitness journey over again. So that's one check-in. The other check-in, it has to relate to being at our friend gender reveal / birthday party.
Okay.
So
I want to know what you're gonna say.
So it was a drink line, and anybody that knows me, like, from growing up, like, those are the only people that call me by my first name, like my full first name. So while I'm in line waiting to get my drink, this girl come up to me and was like, and no, y'all, before we even walked in, I told Brittany, I said, bro, I don't be knowing these people's names. Like, every time, like, I come around, like, they be like, hey, and I just be like, hey, girl, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really be knowing their names. So Shawty say, hey, Tilja. So I'm like, hey, girl. Like,
fake it.
hey, girl. So, y'all, not just being fake with the hey, girl. I went extreme. Like, I unlocked the new cheat code for this fake shit. Like, bruh, I told this girl, I said, give me a hug. Don't know this. But I'm like, she gotta know me. She called me by my first name.
Yeah.
She gotta know me. So anyways, fast forward.
Did you shock yourself when you said
I did. I did.
It just flew.
I did. Like, I'm like, whoa, because after I said, I'm like, what the fuck did you just ask this girl for a hug? But,
Bruh.
so, I was like, I'm just going to follow up later on to see if anybody know who she is.
Yeah.
Later on that night, another one of our friends came, and so she was like, do me a favor, look, in the back corner, shot it with da-da-da, you know her? And I was like, nah. I thought I was going to ask y'all, did y'all know her or whatever? Yeah. And long story short, she's one of our close friends, she dated one of our close friends' ex-boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And however that works or whatever, but it was just like, bruh, so you really just did this to get at my friend. And now you think her friend's fake as fuck because I'm not the only one that spoke to her and was extra. Our other friend spoke to her and was extra too. Yeah. But yeah, I was just like, bro, I cannot believe I did that fake ass shit. Like, I surprised myself. I told that bitch to give me a hug. Give me a hug. Hey, girl. I ain't seen you in a long time. Did you don't call me by my first name? Like, I know you. Damn. So, yeah. That's all I got for my little check-in.
Well, for my check-in, I had two things. One of course was gonna be the gender reveal. And I'm just happy that my girl is finally having her girl.
Yes. She fine.
My girl is finally having her girl. And my second check-in is I went to go see my daddy. Me and my sisters, my nephew, and my mama, we went to go see my daddy. It's his grave site on Friday. Mm-hmm. Was actually the day before his second death anniversary. Mm-hmm. His second death anniversary was on Saturday, and then his birthday was on yesterday. Yeah. So we went to go see him. And it was good. I mean, we stayed out that long because it was hot as fuck. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was good to see him being there, especially that I was like grieving like the day before. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes like I just be so busy, I don't really be having time. And sometimes I do be missing them, but I be okay. But Thursday, and it probably was the liquor too. Mm-hmm. But Thursday, yeah. That shit hit me hard.
How you think you handled like from Thursday up until yesterday with it being his birthday? How you?
I felt fine actually because I got it out. Yeah, like that's when you asked me on Friday like how I'm doing or whatever. I was like, I'm good. I got it out last night. Yeah, I cried last night, so
that's good. And that's a lesson in itself. Like a lot of times we have all this stuff that we holding on to and we don't have time to sit there and just, recollect what's going on. Mm-hmm. Or, reflect or whatever. So we need those times to one, grieve, to think or whatever it is. So I'm glad that you did take that time to do that on Thursday. So, you was able to have a pretty good weekend.
All right, we ready to go ahead and get into the tea games?
Yes. So, y'all, we changed the name from Tea Flip to tea games because as you see we don't have any cards. We came up with things. We have a list of questions that we just want to ask each other, so we may pull from our list that's on our phone or we may have a game here. So we need sponsors of adult games to fuck with AunTEA Talk, man. We hey one thing we're gonna do is play games.
Or if y'all really want to take it there, like y'all really can just donate some money and we'll come up to our games. Yes. Because we get a lot of people say like, I like y'all tea flip, I like y'all games, it's real entertaining, but I don't know that y'all like it or not because y'all ain't helping us.
We can't got that. We doing it for y'all. Like, y'all help us out.
For real. But okay, I'll pop it off.
Okay.
I'm going to start with a this or that. Mm-hmm. Blue cheese or ranch.
We did that already.
Well, we didn't check it off. I remember we did dip or...
No, we did blue cheese or ranch.
Just gonna be lucky. Okay, another this that. Date night out or in?
It depends on my mood.
I was just about to wait.
Cause I can have a good time at the house, But sometimes I do like being out. I'm a very interactive person, so just going out on them little fun. It can be a fun day. It can be a chill day. It just really depends on the mood. What about you?
I agree. I was just like I was saying, like I would definitely say it depends on what my mood is. Crazy thing, I know this is about you too, but I'm at a point in my life where I can't really plan too far in advance because come the day of, I might be feeling totally different. But yeah, for the most part, if I don't have like a long weekend, you want to do a date day or something like that, I probably would say like, let's do some shit at the house.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I might be like, let's go out. So
yeah,
it depends on the mood.
Okay. Most likely to get arrested.
I would say me. And the reason I would say me is because I ain't did, man. But I feel like I'm more of a risk taker than Tia is.
Yeah.
What you saying?
I was gonna say me. Cause again, I don't do shit to get arrested, but I know like when it comes to them moments, especially when I'm in an altercation and I black out, but I don't get in altercations as an adult. But when I had them moments of blacking out, like even when we was in Savannah, like I don't give a fuck about no police, like none of that. But yeah.
That's why I called you and asked you on Sunday, how would you handle that situation? Because Tia got a little hot head streak to her ass. We both got quick tempers, but Tia got a hot head streak like she'll just, like little man syndrome. Little woman syndrome. But okay. Are you checking on my video so we won't have to spin the block again?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Since we own it, what would be something that'll make you fight somebody at your age right now? Wait, didn't I just go?
I asked that question.
Okay.
This is a disclaimer.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
This is a disclaimer. Okay, so when I grew up fighting, and now that I'm mature now, I try not to even put myself in situations that's gonna make me, go back to where I feel like I need to fight. Because again, once I get in that mood, it's up until I feel like coming down.
Yeah.
So it's a situation with my business, and this bitch scamming me, and I want that whole head.
We want that whole head.
I want that whole head. Like
ski man. We on that whole head.
I told Brittany like I haven't wanted to fight somebody in so long.
Yeah.
But this one I won't, and I can visually see her head in between my hand. Like I don't even really want to. I just want to just need out like, cause you got me fucked up. So yeah, that's the situation.
Yeah, that's a good ass situation right there.
Yeah.
What's so crazy is I always say I say a prayer before I go to work every day, and sometimes I forget, so I pray like during my shift. But shit, when I work in the city, and then I'm in the hospitality industry, so it's always that's places where people get tried the most. So I just be praying like I don't never get into it with nobody at work, but sometimes I be feeling like that might be it. But respect, like for real, because sometimes these people they'll get so disrespectful, like. Yeah, and I'm a nice, nasty motherfucker, real quick.
Yeah.
Because they come at you so sideways, like even back to last episode, how I was saying, when we were talking about business and I'm talking about the consumer standpoint or whatever, like people come at you sideways.
Right, yeah.
Bitch, I'm servicing you, ho.
Yeah. And it's what I realized, it has a lot to do with entitlement. They feel like as a consumer or the customer, like they right.
I'm paying for it, so no. All money ain't good money. You can keep that money, baby. You not finna get this hookah. Yeah. Bitch, I knock all this shit over. And I be saying it all the time, like, ugh. Like, but I just pray to God, like, I never had to get into with nobody in my job, but I really do feel like respect. Like, nobody really disrespect me, but it's just in life in general, but that job.
Yeah.
That industry, people get real sideways. It's only been one time where I almost felt like I had to, and that was, last year for Cinco de Mayo. That bitch was in there drunk. get this bitch up out of here, cause I'm gonna put this whole ass. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, though. Respect, like, yeah.
All right. So, last question. If it was your last 24 hours, what would you do?
Anything that was ever on my bucket list that I haven't checked off, I'm doing it.
That's my answer.
Yeah.
That's my
Anything
answer.
that was ever on my bucket list, and especially if no money like limit was involved, like I can do whatever. Who?
It's my last 24, baby. I'm going out with a bang. Know that.
And I'm robbing the bank. I'm robbing the bank just for that look, and I'm pull up on the block and pass the money out, like, cause it ain't
Robin Hood.
ain't nothing that I can do with the money after them 24 hours. So yeah, I definitely would love to rob a bank.
Yeah.
Hell, that could be me going out right there, just cause I'm finna die anyway. Let me rob this bank right quick. Straight
Nah, for real.
Cleo your ass. But what are you grateful for, though?
One thing that I'm grateful for is the impactful people in my life. So that's family, friends, co-workers. I know I talk about being on this journey that I'm on. I don't even know what the journey is, but this journey that I'm on, and I'm just
I had that red rock this morning too. That's fine.
But just having those people, like, you know how I even said like things that you shared with me, and then how my ex even shared with me recently, just like hearing those things feeding into me that I'm feeding into y'all, like not even knowing that. Not even intentionally trying to impact y'all, but y'all being impacted. So just knowing that, you know, y'all can learn from me and vice versa. Just the people that's in my life that's impactful. I gotta put impactful. So yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. So I'm grateful for journal expressions. I've been saying for a while now, y'all, I done bought like 2 different sets of sticky notes to like just write myself like affirmations that I can see around the house or whatever. Because when I was in college, I actually used to do that. I had like a board, and I would write on my mirror with a dry erase. Hell, in our bathroom, you remember? We wrote on it with a dry erase board. Like I used to write then, but I just really want to get back into that. But I just keep telling myself like, you don't like it, all right? You don't like it. Right? So it's really me holding myself back, but now that I'm in therapy, they're pushing for me to like journal daily, like whatever it is, even if it's just something small, like just go to the journal, and like even the journal on the app, on the site, or to just journal like on a piece of, piece of paper or notebook or whatever. And something they were saying like, well, when I did a group therapy session, they were saying like, even if you don't have no thoughts at all, just go to it and the shit'll just flow. So I've been trying to do that. I've really been trying to do that, and I've been doing good with it so far. So I'm thankful for that, because it helps me express myself. Even if I'm not even going to express it to nobody else, I was able to just get that shit off my chest. Good, bad, ugly, whatever it was, I was able to get it off my chest. So I'm grateful for journal expression.
Okay, so for this week's tea spill, we'll be talking about childhood trauma and family/friend ties. Cause baby, it's real. All of it is real. So first, my question is to you. Do you think childhood trauma affects us as adults?
Hell yeah. It does, because you living in it. You still trying to battle whatever the hell you went through as a child, and it's like seeping through your adulthood. Like, you really gotta be. It's so crazy that you just asked me that, because it was something when I was looking at my notes. I went on TikTok for inspiration, and I typed in childhood trauma, and I also looked up like dark humor for Black people or whatever, and they was talking about like how people. You gotta live through that, accept it, and all that. Like even when it comes down to a kid that's young as hell, and they gotta step up, like the daddy not in the picture, the son gotta step up, be the daddy as a young age. You don't miss your childhood. Yeah. Or the daughter. That ain't happened with my family too. But go ahead, miss your tea spill.
I mean, it's all tea spill, but I agree with you. Yes. childhood trauma is real. I mean, we all know it is real, but it does affect you as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that, you know, as children, you have a vulnerable and open mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everything you see, hear, you know, experience, you're taking heed to that. Like you're creating those memories or whatever. So eventually, like once you hear, see, or whatever, you gonna continue to like, okay, this is the way I need to move with this. This is how I need to handle this, moving forward. And that's even like as kids, how our parents instill, you know, morals and values within us, and we still hang on to them as adults because that vulnerable child mindset, you know, we just want to hold on to it. That's what we know.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, definitely does affect us as adults. And going back to the experiences, in those negative experiences as children, we tend to build barriers and defense mechanisms. And that's to really protect us mentally, physically, and emotionally. And then we get so consumed of having these barriers and having, you know, our guards up and moving a certain way so we won't get hurt again, that we even tend to forget what caused us to even
be this way.
Mm-hmm. And I would say that I'm not gonna say that I had a perfect childhood and that I've had a perfect life, but even through like my counseling program, when I was in school, you know, and I was, of course, a part of my assignments is looking at, you know, the development from a child up until you're an adolescent, up until an adult. Yeah. So it's like a lot of the things that I was reading is like, okay, let me take the time. I think that's when I really started self-reflecting while I was in my program. Mm-hmm. And I took the time to self-reflect and see, you know, why am I the way I am in certain situations? Yeah. And granted, I was not able to unlock a lot of those memories, but I was able to unlock some as to why I may be the way that I am. And this may not be like directly related to trauma, but I would just use this as an example. Like, as a kid, I watched the movie Poltergeist, and from that moment, I'm like, bro, I can't go to sleep with no TV on. Like, I can't go to sleep with no TV on. So even as an adult and growing up, that's how I move. Like, I'm not intentionally falling asleep with the TV on because somebody just got to pull me through. But knowing that that's not the case now, but it's just still like that habit that I built as a young kid, and it still follows me as an adult. So it's just different things like that. So just think if it's something that minor or not as traumatic, just think about those traumatic experiences that people really, you know, build who they are because of those experiences.
Like, I can even say, and this actually tapped into my teeth spill a little bit, but like you said, it's like start from something that happened at home, like, or what caused you to be this way, to build your guard up or whatever, you don't even notice. I do know when it comes to men, and I've only dated men, but when it comes to men, I don't really believe nothing nobody tells me off bat. Like, and that is a part of my trauma because my daddy was the first man in my life that like led me astray. I wouldn't even just say like led me astray, or just like got my hopes up and made me feel like something was going to happen or you were going to be there or whatever, and you weren't. So when it comes to men, I'm always say, oh shit, just people in general too though. But definitely men in the dating, when I'm dating or whatever, it's like, you gotta show me. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about none of that bullshit you talking about. You gotta show me. Like, and people be like, you mean? No, I'm not mean. I'm a realist. But I know I can understand because it had come off my tone or whatever. Like, just the way I talk with my hands. I move my neck around or whatever, and then just the projection in my voice. A lot of times it might seem like it's, but I mean that shit. Like this shit hurt me. Like, what you talking about? You doing this? Okay, I want to see you do it. You got to be a man of your word, and that's why from a kid, from that moment, like just a small kid, like I've always said I would be a woman of my word because of that. Yeah. Like I stood on it. I'm gonna be a woman of my word because of it.
Yeah. I sent Brittany this link to take a what is it? A child trauma, childhood trauma test, and it's via WebMD. And I will say that a lot of those questions that they asked were situational, and they give you 4 different categories to choose from. So you can choose from a guilt quiz, abandonment quiz, mistrust, and others. And I know me personally, I have an issue with trust. And I know it stems from being a child, being in those situations where I was promised something and, you know, it never followed through or whatever. So mistrust has definitely followed me through my adulthood, and I have those barriers and things up. So I chose the category of mistrust. And for my results, it said that I have a mild case of frustration, negative feelings or annoyance when able to change or achieve something. I have a high lack of focus, aftermath of stress, poor sleep or diet, sedentary behavior. I have high anxiety, restlessness, and constant worry about everyday situations. And I have moderate stress levels, which feelings of being overwhelmed, difficulties dealing with pressure. And I know, like in previous, and I do 100% agree with my results. Like I said, I do believe that the questions are situational and may not always be the case, but I do ultimately agree with my results because of how I feel and I know myself. And I was gonna say how. Dang, what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I was gonna say how in previous episodes, you know, I've shared like I haven't been experiencing, you know, my anxiety the past couple months, but lately anxiety has been on my ass, and like even with it being on my ass, these results align with how I'm feeling right now. So I will suggest that if you're interested, you know, learning a little bit more about yourself, your childhood traumas, you can take the test. We'll drop the link in the description box. I know you took the test as well. Which category did you select?
Okay, so I honestly can't remember what category I selected because I was at work. But what I do know is for frustration, I was mild. For lack of focus, I was high. I believe that.
Definitely.
And mainly because, well, I'm gonna go ahead and break down for frustration, well, the negative feelings and annoyance towards somebody is like how we be saying sometimes, like I feel a certain type of way sometimes, but then I gotta remind myself I can't expect for them to be like this. Yeah. So that's why I feel like it's mild. So for lack of focus, I was high, and that's, you know, of course, the aftermath of stress, poor sleep and diet. And that is so me. Like I work in the nightlife. I get off late. Sometimes I really just can't unwind. Last night I didn't go to sleep till after 4. Guess who woke up at 7:47 and ended up moving. And then 9 times 10 I won't go to sleep today. I won't take no nap before I go to work, and it's a repeated cycle. So I can believe why my lack of focus is super high. And then I just always had like ADD, like my mind bounces. Anxiety, you had high. I had very high. And I can really, really believe that because I'm always anxious now. And I really started noticing this once my dad passed 2 years ago. And then my stress was high. My stress was high. Life. Yeah, fucking life. Life, yeah.
Do you have anything else for childhood trauma as far as your teeth feel before we move into the family and friend ties?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I got a lot of shit. I thought y'all were gonna be deep in that. Okay, so
certain space me.
So I have, one of my things is I have resentment for my parents growing up. And the reason why that is because My dad wasn't really around, and there's a big age gap between me and my siblings. So they were like almost adults or already adults. Some of them was already adults, but in my household they were like high school age. So my high school siblings had to raise me, because being that my daddy wasn't in the picture for real, and that's because during 80s and 90s there was a crack pandemic. And as much as I don't want to be like, oh, that's the honest and raw truth. My daddy was he fell victim to it. So they had him out the house. They had him taken from my household. So my mama had to work 2 jobs. I literally only saw my mama on Thursdays. So as a kid, you don't understand that your mama is only coming home once a week and she don't feel like talking.
Yeah.
Because she been working all day. This is her only time she really get to rest, because her night job, she was taking care of elderly people. So you not really sleep. Like, you napping, but you not really sleep, because you got to make sure these folks straight, because if they family want to come and they see your ass sleep, then what, So this is her only day. I'm not understanding that my mama is tired. So I just I gained like a huge resentment to both of my parents, and I didn't really respect them. Like, I had to come to the conclusion of that I didn't really respect them. I just started like a couple of years ago, honestly, just started gaining respect for them. And not in a bad way, but it's just like the resentment was there. I didn't even want to be married because of the things that I saw that went on in my household. Like, what the fuck used to be happening between my mom and daddy. Like, shit, my mom used to talk at that nigga. I don't know exactly what was going on at that time, because to this day, I still never had that conversation. At 31, I still never had the conversation. Like, what really, besides what we would see was going on, what was really going on, how was you really feeling about shit or whatever. But I know the reason why she was talking to him like this, because it's like, nigga, we in a partnership, we married. Like, you left me out in the dirt. Like, I'm handling this shit by myself. So of course, yes, it's like
you can't direct me. Like, I'm big dog around this bitch.
So I can totally understand why she would talk at him, and then it was just sometimes I'd be like, that's my daddy though. I be talking at him, but then at the same time I be mad at him, like, nigga, why you not helping her? So it was just like, I always said I never wanted to be married, and that's why I always like tell Till, like, dang, I really wish like my parents, like, I was able to see like a healthy. Granted, everybody goes through shit, but I really wanted to see like a healthy marriage, and I had never really seen it from nobody. Hell, nobody around me I really knew was married for real like that or whatever. But I never wanted to be married until I was 21. Like, I always said, fuck that shit. If this is marriage, I don't want no parts of that shit. But I also knew when I decided I wanted to be married, I knew what I was going to accept and what I'm not going to accept. Also, another thing is, and this I feel like why last year I took my dad's death so hard is because he wasn't around for real. And he started coming around more after, I done been around my daddy more at post-college. I graduated in 2013. Post-college, then I really was anytime before that, for real. So sometimes it's hard. Like, sometimes like, okay, this is what I want. I do want to be around my dad, but it's like, sometimes I just feel like he was so thrilled and he was just like on a whole nother level. Sometimes it's like I find myself talking at him too. Like, nigga, you can't tell me shit. Like, you ain't there. Like, because that resentment is there. Like, you my daddy.
You
like,
no respect at that point.
No respect whatsoever. Now, I wasn't gonna let nobody else talk to him crazy. But it's just like, nigga, who the fuck you think you is? Like, ugh. But so fast forward 2019. Around Christmas time, me and my family, we had like just a powwow, and we all pretty much like laying shit out on the table. Did we all go deep into our traumas? No, we didn't, but we all had a good talk. We were all crying at the table. We all like apologized to each other, and I said then, like, in 2020 I'm gonna start therapy. That's when I first started voicing I'm going to start therapy. And shit, at the beginning of that year, you remember my disc was slipped. Then right after that, 2 months later, COVID hit, and then a few months later, my dad passed. So I feel like that's why I took my dad's death so hard, is because, like, damn, as soon as I said I wanted, that shit hurt. But another thing I have is a childhood trauma that I've experienced that I had to come to realization like that's really what trauma. Being the dark skinned friend. It wasn't until while we was in college, like the 2010s.
Yeah.
When people wanted they melanin and they wanted dark skin or they wanted African shit. I was both. I'm African and I'm dark skinned. Like niggas was not trying to really fuck with. So it's just like, damn, you as a child you don't really understand it. Like people are really colorist.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you black this, you blacker than me now. You'll be the same color. And they'll be
a whole argument, like
you blacker than me, like because nobody wants to be the darkest. Like they done brainwash us so fucking hard. They done brainwash us so bad that like nobody really wanted to be chocolate now. I kid y'all not, y'all. I love my skin. I love myself a lot now, but I hear a lot so much, and I would have never heard this 15 years ago. Your skin is so pretty. Oh, you got that chocolate skin. Your skin is so pretty, and I just be like, y'all the same motherfuckers. Y'all the same motherfuckers who would have been saying, that black African booty scratcher, you black ass burnt bitch, you burnt hot dog, like stuff like that. And I said this before. I growing up in high school, one of my best friends, she was light skinned, and I always was homegirl, and everybody wanted her. I kid you not. After high school, all the same niggas or just other niggas was like, I been wanting you what? But it wasn't cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't cool to be with the chocolate girl. So that's another thing. And like I already said, I spoke briefly of my choice of men due to lack of self-love. Like I feel like I dealt with a lot of bullshit just because I feel like, okay, well, at least I got a man. At least I got somebody, like, and a lot of other women deal with stuff like that because of the lack of self-love, because my dad wasn't around. My dad wasn't the one who really showed me this is how you supposed to be loved.
Yeah.
And not even just with my dad. Like, I don't come from an affectionate family. So, granted, yes, I hear, like, you're beautiful or whatever, but it wasn't, like, really just pushing this into me. Like, so I just know, like, especially when I'm just seeing, like, how people pour into their kids now, I know that's what I'm going to do with my kids.
Yeah.
Like, and people always be like, why you ain't have kids? Why you have kids yet? I'm not ready. Mentally, like financially or something, anything else that could be cool, but mentally, I know what type of parent I want to be for my kids. Like,
and I can't be that right now.
I can't be that right now. I'm working on me. I gotta be the best version of myself first before I can even give that to my kids and even to my partner.
Yeah, it go back to one of my favorite quotes: "You can't pour from a glass that's half empty."
Yeah. And so my last tea spill, it wasn't about me, but this was just about suppressing feelings. That was something else I had. Sometimes I would suppress my feelings a lot, and it'll come out later on after I don't feel like I'm fed up. I feel like a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And the last one I have for that one is people being molested by family, and the family sweeps it up under the rug because they're worried about what other things. This isn't related to me or anything like that, but I'm just speaking on families and in general. Like, there's a lot of people deal with that. And the reason what made me think about that one was because when I was looking up the inspiration for our tea spills or whatever, I came across one. It was a girl just going at it with her family. Like, they were all sitting around talking, and the family was like trying to joke about her molester. She was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to engage in no joke about my molester. This shit not funny to me. I don't even want that person's name to be crossed. And so she was like, she was just going off on them. It's like, y'all like never care. Nobody ever tried to check on me. Yeah. It's so many people who deal with that shit. Like,
yeah. It's definitely things that, everybody experiences. They, again, build these defense mechanisms, and it just plays into us as adults. And if you don't take the time to sit there and try to think or go through therapy and things like that, you may not be able to unlock those moments of why you're like you are. So I will suggest take the time to, figure out what it is that has caused you to be the way that you are now, because we growing, we elevating, We not trying to stay in the same the same level that we at. Like, and you can't grow unless you know what's really going on with you.
So you want to go ahead and get into the family ties?
Okay, so for the second tea spill, family and friend ties. Whew, this is a juicy one.
Well, I don't really have much to say for that one, so I go first.
Okay.
Okay, so I was saying with the family ties and friend ties or whatever, I've always been a you're not gonna get over me type person. So I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, because it's going to happen. You're not exempt for bullshit, But I can say is I don't really have a problem with that too much. I don't really have a problem with that too much, but I have experienced it, and I have seen people around me experience it too. And I feel like a lot of it goes on so much, especially with dealing with bullshit with your family, is because, once again, I'm going to speak on black people because I'm fucking black, and that's what I be around. But I know in the black community, it's always family first. At the end of the day, that's family. That's your mama. That's your brother, blah, blah, blah. The reason why shit is like that is because family don't really give a fuck. Like, family cares, but they treat you that way because it's like, hey, they'll be all right. Yeah, they'll be all right. Like, this, shit like that. And the reason why, like, people they abuse that logic, like, for real.
Yeah, for real.
And I've just always been a person, like, I don't care who you are. You're not getting over me. Like, I've always chose me and protecting myself at my own cost at all times. Like, even when it just comes to, like, just out of us, I do know, like, out of our bunch of friends, like, if something is happening, they gonna be cautious about what they gonna ask us.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna come ask us no bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, and I respect that, because that's that boundary that we set. That basically what I'm saying is I set this boundary, like, you're not gonna come at me. Granted, like I said, it still can happen, but it happens to us less than it'll happen to somebody else. So that's pretty much what I had for that.
Well, I just want to start by saying family is placed in our lives. Like, we're just born into family being in our lives, and friends, we choose for them to be in our lives. And I feel like when it comes to family, we feel like because of blood. When it relates to friends, because of time, we feel like we're forever tied to them. And that's not the case. Like Brittany was saying, like, with family, they feel like it's more so an entitlement with the family. Like how she said, family first, all that type of stuff. But when my family supported me on this, when my family had my back on this, when my friend supported me on this, when my friend had my back on this. So I'm just here to say, like, at the end of the day, like I had to tell one of my homeboys, like, bruh, your family is just a regular, everyday person. It just so happened y'all got the same blood. It just so happened y'all got the same blood. You don't owe this person nothing more than you owe the next person, something. Like, honestly speaking, shit, I'm closer to my friends than I am my family. And I would say this, like, anytime I go around family, it's all, like, I ain't gonna say it's always, but I get those slick remarks. What's up, Hollywood? Like, all that type of stuff. Or, let me hold some money, you got this business. Have you supported my business? Ask me how my business going, at least. Like, you got it, cuz, you got it. But when have you ever had me? Like, no, I don't owe you nothing. I don't give a fuck about that blood shit. Like, if you can't be there for me, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever it may be, if you cannot be there for me, it's fuck you. And that's just how I feel. And I started cutting family members off in 2020. Like, I'm not finna be the one that continuously support and showing up, being there, calling in, checking on you. And you can't do the simplest thing. And the same, I want to say, shoot, last year is when I really started realizing who my friends were and what they were not doing for me. And I'm not going to say that it's always doing, because one thing about me, I'm a reciprocator. So, like, I'm going to check in on you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be there to support you. But once I finally realized, like, bro, you're not doing the same for me, I can't keep giving you like this energy, and at the end of the day, it's like being dead weight. Like, I can't continue to have you holding on to me. And I was watching one of these podcasts, and they was just saying, you know, like, you have to put people in categories in your lives. Like, this person is for having a good time. This person is for specifically like having a good time, but we also able to be a little bit more personable. Yeah. Like, you have to know where your family members and your friends fall under. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say, like, one thing with me, I'm just big on support. Like, that's just always been my thing. And this kind of, is it on subject? I don't know. But like, Brittany had suggested that we do something because we're working on our engagements with AunTEA Talk via social media. So she had suggested that we, you know, do like a Woman Crush Wednesday. We shout out our friends, you know, things like that, you know, just trying to get the word out there. And I was like, you know, I'm not being petty or nothing, but these people don't support AunTEA Talk. I can't support them via AunTEA Talk. Like, and that's just what it is. Like, it's not being petty. Like, yeah, I'll promote you on my personal page, but like, if I feel like it, I'm not entitled to. And just like they're not entitled to do anything, but I also feel like a lot of people, a lot of our friends, and I have family members that follow my personal and AunTEA Talk, and you're on social media. You're continuously putting things in group chat. Like, you're seeing things like, I don't see you view my story, but you can't. Support is simply a retweet, a repost, a like, just a share or something. Yeah. And if you can sit there and take the time to share some bullshit that's going on in the city or whatever happening in the entertainment industry, yeah, but you can't share. Like, no, I can't. And it's not like I'm necessarily cutting you out, but I know how I move with you now. When it comes to certain things, I can't depend on you to hold me down, support me in that light. And that's just where I'm at. I'm here to just say, like, hey, it's okay to let go of those friends, families, or to adjust the way that you move with them. And don't feel guilty about it. And that's just that on that.
Well, I'm done with that.
I am too.
I agree with Sue.
I am too.
Because when her response to that message was, I ain't trying to be petty, but blah blah blah, like she just said, and I responded, nah, true. And that's not petty. Like, yeah, that's not petty. So,
and we always use the excuse of life, because, you know, even when we talked about it, like, like, but again, I had to later sit there and think about it, like, nah, you can be on Instagram reposting shit. Yeah. You can at least like. You feel me? So, yeah. Yeah. Cut off the folks that ain't.
I be really trying to give folks the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. And that's one thing, that was my goal for last year. To stop giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Until more so on it, that's why when she sound like, no, you're right. So
yeah, like, I got,
that's not petty. That shit is true. At the end of the day, this is our business, and we already know where we're trying to go with it, and they know where we're trying to go with it. And like you just said, this shit is a fucking free repost.
Yeah,
you on this motherfucker all day anyway.
Why am I making posts like? Because we were talking about like doing. Brittany had suggested like doing reels and TikTok. Them shits. For those who create reels and TikToks and stuff, y'all know it takes time.
Kudos to you.
It takes time. I'm not going to put forth energy and time into
people that's not supporting.
Yeah.
Like you said, you'll do it for your personal page,
yeah,
but not for Auntie Talk. And that makes sense. So, like, they not pouring in the Auntie Talk. Why the fuck with Auntie? I thought it was a cute little idea.
It was. And
I was just like, you know.
But maybe we can do that for our big simples, though. Our continuous, like the ones who continuously support us, whether they liking, sharing, commenting, you know, like maybe we can do that for them to show them that we appreciate. No.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say this.
Excuse me.
I'm just glad we not alone in this shit.
Yeah.
And what I'm meaning by that is we fuck with poor minds.
Mm-hmm.
Look how far they are. And they still saying
they friends.
They friends.
They up there. They friends.
They friends still like. So that makes me feel bad. We ain't in this shit alone.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like stuff like that. And that's another reason why I really rock with poor minds, because
they very transparent.
They're very transparent and they stay down. It gives me the motivation. Like, if we love this shit, this our passion, just keep going. Keep going. You never know who we gonna run into. Like, none of that. Like, just keep going. Like, this shit is gonna be up.
And one thing that they said even before we really started AunTEA Talk, they were saying like they supporters really like random people. Or distant friends, not they close friends, like, and we live in it.
One more thing, I just told you this the other day. So it is so crazy that I never thought of Thursdays being my favorite day of the week, but I know I do love Thursdays until you and OB said that's your favorite. I'm like, damn, I love Thursdays too, because it's my first off day and I usually do something to like lift me up or just to just chill or whatever. So Thursday was my self-care day this past Thursday. And I'm sitting at the bar by myself. I took my laptop, I'm working on shit, and I'm just vibing out. And I was sitting next to these girls. One, I knew one of them or whatever. But the other girl, she was talking, she was like, put your hand on top of my hand. So, you know, these are my nails. She was like, put your hand on top of my hand. So I was like, reluctantly like, okay. So she was like, oh, I just wish I could get nails. I was like, why you can't get your nails done? So she was like, I'm a massage therapist or whatever. So we just started talking. I done booked still shit. She's gonna do my massage on this Thursday. But anyway, and so we were just talking. I can't remember what made me say what transpired for me to say something about my podcast. And she said, "Oh, I got a podcast too." Like, they haven't really done much. They only dropped one episode. But guess what her podcast name is, y'all? AunTEA. Spelled TEA. And the reason why I just brought that up is because she's sitting at the bar with her best friend. This is what she said. I know these bitches ain't listen to my shit. We just had a full bonding moment just off of that statement itself, because
it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
It speaks for itself.
Anyway, let's just go ahead and get to the question of the night.
And let's say this. Since we're moving into our question tonight, like I previously mentioned, we're trying to engage more with our big sippers. So from here on out, we're posting our question of the nights on our social medias, whether it be Instagram or Twitter. We haven't even really been active on Twitter. But we appreciate you all for tapping in, support. That's a simple form of support. Tapping into the question of the night. So for this week's question of the night, it came from Instagram, Twitter, one of them. But here's the situation. I asked this woman I've been talking to for a minute for $100. I get a what do you need it for? When do I get it back? A whole bunch of questions. I planned the trip for us to the mountains in Colorado for 4 days. Hotel costs were $200. Whitewater rafting, $150 per person. Zip line, $125 per person. Hot air balloon, $250 per person. SUV rental, $80 a day. Not to mention the cost of food. I had all this covered. Just canceled everything and got my deposits back. I didn't need the $100. I was just saying what type of response I get if I asked for it. I didn't ask when do I get my money back when I was planning the vacation. I was just handling business. people don't think long-term test failed. So our question, well, the question was, Big Sippers, what are y'all thoughts on this? And we had a lot of responses. And again, we truly appreciate you all for who supported us in this question of the night. Do you want to answer?
Yeah, I definitely want to answer that. First of all, I feel like the shit was lame as fuck on his behalf for giving her a test. I feel like testing somebody like on something like that is lame to me, because you know off their regular everyday actions if that person, what type of person they is most times. $100 just to see, like, before the trip, just to see what she gonna do. You never know what the fuck she was asking for. I don't know how her tone was, so I can't say he's solely wrong by, you know, canceling because of that. But you don't know, like, what she had going on. She might not even have $100, so she's like, okay, if I'm giving you this, what it's for? But that's not even the important part. The part that I'm saying is lame as fuck is, why would you do that?
Yeah,
that shit is lame to me. But me personally, if I got it and I fuck with you, first of all, if you booking a trip, we got to fuck with each other some type of way. If you done did all that on your own, like you said, you're handling business. If I got it, I'm giving it.
Yeah.
But don't test me. Like, this shit lame. Like, it ain't like y'all live together and you trying to see when the fuck this nigga gonna wash the dishes.
Yeah.
That's a different type of test. Because you're gonna test people that you're dealing with, of course. But that right there, that was lame. I can't rock with it. Like, no.
Yeah.
If you feel like that was the case, you should never book the trip.
I kind of dissected the question in parts, so I could just make sure I tapped in on everything that I had. So the first thing is, as the lender, she has every single right to ask, what you need my money for? When am I going to get my money back? We all had situations where we done lent somebody something, and then it's like, damn, I don't want to ask them when I'm going to get my shit back. But at the end of the day, it's yours. Like, when am I getting my shit back? So, and then in the case of, what I'm getting you money for? I need to know, because I'm not into supporting bad habits. Like, you could be doing something with my money that I just don't agree with. No, I'm not giving you no $100 or whatever. But let me initially say this. If I had the $100 and I'm fucking with you, yeah, I'm going to give it to you. So let me just say that first. That's my disclaimer. But next thing is, like, she could, in that particular moment when he asked for the $100, like, she could have been in a position where she really wasn't capable of giving the $100. So it's like, okay, I fought with him. I really do want to get him this $100, but when I'm gonna get it back? Like, I just need a little bit more information. And
I got this, that, and third of this too.
Yeah.
So.
And then another thing I would say is, you don't ever. One thing that my mom and my daddy taught me: don't ever loan money with the expectation of getting it back. Excuse me. And that again just ties into, she might be in a position where she really wanted to give the money, but she really couldn't afford it. So she just want to make sure that she'll be able to get her money back, so she can do whatever it is that she needed to do. One of the responses that we got from my big sippers read, the measure of what you do for me shouldn't be based off what I do for you. Yeah. Not saying that his purpose for the vacation was to just do something so he can get back and something, so he can get something back in return. But, like, you just gotta do shit out of the kindness of your heart. Like, and when you do shit out of the kindness of your heart, you don't have no expectation of what's gonna come or whatever, because you never had any ill intent from the beginning. And another point is, ultimately, like he said, it was a test. We grown. Like, as an adult, open your mouth and communicate what it is. If you feel like you always doing something for me or whatever, and I'm not reciprocating, let me know. If it's things that you want, need, desire, whatever, let me know. Don't be testing me. Like, because now you get your feelings hurt because you're not responding. You also don't even know my whole circumstances or whatever I got going on. So now you want to be petty and cancel a trip, and we don't know the whole story. We don't even know how long they were talking. He said for a while. We don't know what a while is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if this was even his first time asking that. It's different. Like I just asked Shawty for $100. She ain't give it to me. All right, cool. A couple months later, I asked him for $100 again, and you don't give it to him. So I'm like, bro, I'm always doing for you. You can't do for me. So was this the first time that you asked for this money, or like is this something that you've asked before and haven't got anything on return? So it's just more so of you have to understand somebody's personal situation, and as it relates to the situation, we need to understand a little bit. We need a little bit more details to give my full opinion, but based on what was provided, that's just my opinion. You lame as fuck for doing this shit, like, and you did it before the vacation.
Yeah, with the intentions on, I'm gonna get this shit right back.
Yeah.
If she don't do this, nah.
Yeah.
You don't even need to fuck with her, and she don't even need to fuck with you, because you nah.
And I just feel like in relationships, they never said they was in a relationship, they were talking. But in relationships and things, you don't have to necessarily test somebody. Mm-hmm. Like, life is going to happen and it's going to test them anyways. Then you move accordingly. But, like, that was just petty. Point blank period. All right. So, let's move right on to our
Vibe on Demand.
Yep, our Vibe on Demand.
Okay, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go. Okay. My Vibe on Demand is Dropping Gems with Debbie Brown, and it's a podcast that I listened to for the first time yesterday. I was looking for like a spiritual meditation type podcast. Came across it, Black woman, and the episode that I was listening to was called A Meditation of Summer, and what I like about her podcast, and I end up listening to another one later on that night, she gives a spiel before she starts, because it's a guided meditation practice. Mm-hmm. She gives a spiel, and it was just like everything that she was saying aligned with me. If you're interested in guided meditation from a Black woman, check out Dropping Gems with Debbie Brown. I will drop the link in the description box. What's your vibe?
Okay, so my Vibe on Demand is Kurt Franklin's Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah.
My sister, I saw it before a long time ago, but my sister sent it last week, and I just been using it as a pick me up in the mornings, or just throughout the day. If I haven't thought of it, listened to it every morning since last week or whatever, but it was just like I listened to it a few times, and throughout the day too. Sometimes I just listen to it. It's just like a pick me up. Like, it just gets you in a good spirit. First of all, music does that for people anyway, but them 15 minutes is all I be doing, honey. Like,
he got a good Tiny Desk.
Yeah, he got a good Tiny Desk concert.
Took me back to my childhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rain.
Rain down on me.
Let it fall on me.
Rain. Oh, I could be a tenor. Asshole or tenor.
But that will go ahead and wrap us up for childhood trauma and family and friend ties, honey.
Episode 15 of AunTEA Talk. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like, tap in the comment section to our tea spills, our question of the night, anything that you would like to add. And also, don't forget to follow us on our social medias. It's AunTEA_Talk, and that's on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. We haven't been posting anything on Twitter, but we coming along. It's just us. Mm-hmm. So we coming along to it. But until next time, bye y'all.